A man finds himself given a second chance at life. In his first life, he worked tirelessly, rarely enjoying the world around him. Sadly, he passed away from illness before he could truly live. But then, something amazing happened. A kind deity appeared before him, offering him a fresh start in a new world. This time, the man could decide how he wanted to live. He asked for a strong and healthy body and something simple, the chance to enjoy peaceful days. The deity granted his wish and sent him to an unfamiliar place. It was a quiet land filled with lush green trees, wide open spaces, and a bright blue sky. In his hands, he found a magical farming tool that could transform into any equipment he needed, a shovel, hoe, axe, or anything else. Excited to start this new chapter, he decided to live off the land and create a life of peace. At first, he had no idea where to start. The land was vast but untouched. He decided to clear a small patch of ground to grow crops. Using the magical tool, he worked faster and more easily than he ever could before. The tool not only helped him dig and plant, but also enriched the soil, making it perfect for growing all kinds of food. In just a short time, his small field turned into a flourishing garden. Fruits, vegetables, and grains grew abundantly, enough to fill his belly and more. But living alone wasn't easy. Nights were cold and lonely, and the silence around him felt heavy. One day, as he was planting new seeds, he noticed a pair of eyes watching him from the trees. It was a curious little creature, something he had never seen before. It looked like a dog, but with a larger, more wolf-like body. Instead of running away, the creature cautiously approached him. He offered it food, and soon, it became his companion. As days turned into weeks, more animals began to appear. Birds, rabbits, and even large beasts like cows and horses seemed drawn to his little farm. He welcomed them all, creating homes for them and sharing his food. Each creature seemed to understand that this place was safe, and they stayed to help him. The wolves, for example, guarded the farm from other dangerous animals in the wild. One morning, as he was tending to his crops, he found something unusual. A group of tiny figures stumbled into his farm. They were small, with wings that shimmered in the sunlight. They introduced themselves as forest spirits, tiny beings who protect the natural world. They were fascinated by his farming skills and how he cared for the land. To thank him, they offered their help. With their magic, they sped up the growth of his crops and made his farm even more bountiful. Over time, his peaceful little home turned into a thriving haven. But his quiet life wasn't meant to stay quiet for long. One day, while exploring the forest nearby, he came across a strange figure. It was a young woman, injured and alone. She looked scared and unsure if she could trust him. With a kind smile, he offered her food and shelter. Slowly, she warmed up to him and decided to stay. She was no ordinary person. She had powers of her own and could communicate with the creatures around them. Together, they worked to make the farm even better. Word of his farm began to spread. Travelers and wanderers started arriving, drawn by the tales of a peaceful land where food was plentiful and everyone was welcome. At first, he wasn't sure about letting so many people stay. But as he saw the joy in their faces, he realized this was what he truly wanted: to build a community where everyone could thrive. The visitors brought skills and knowledge from their own lives, teaching him new ways to improve the farm. They built houses, workshops, and even a small marketplace where they could trade goods. As the seasons passed, the community grew stronger. New faces arrived almost every week, each bringing something special. There were craftspeople who made tools, cooks who turned simple ingredients into delicious meals, and healers who cared for the sick and injured. The farm became a village, and the village became a family. But life wasn't without challenges. The surrounding forest was home to dangerous creatures that occasionally attacked the village. Thankfully, the man's magical tool could also serve as a weapon, and with the help of his new friends and the protective animals, they were able to defend their home. Each battle brought them closer together, reminding everyone of the strength that came from unity. One of the biggest surprises came during the Harvest Festival, a celebration they held to give thanks for the year's abundance. As the villagers danced and feasted, they heard a loud roar from the sky. Looking up, they saw a massive dragon descending toward the farm. Everyone panicked, but the man, holding his magical tool, stepped forward. To everyone's shock, the dragon didn't attack. Instead, it spoke. It was impressed by how the man had transformed the land and brought so many different beings together in harmony. The dragon offered its protection, promising to keep the farm safe from harm. The dragon's presence brought a new sense of security to the village. With the threat of danger reduced, they could focus on growing and expanding. The villagers built better homes, planted more fields, and even created a school for the children who had arrived with their families. The once empty land was now full of life and laughter. As the man looked out over his creation, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. This was the life he had always dreamed of: simple, fulfilling, and surrounded by people who cared for one another. He realized that the second chance he had been given wasn't just for him. It was an opportunity to create a place where everyone could find happiness and purpose. Years passed, and the farm continued to thrive. The man, now older and wiser, became a respected leader in the community. He never sought power or riches, only the joy of seeing his friends and family flourish. His magical tool, the gift that had started it all, remained by his side, a reminder of how far he had come. This new life was nothing like his first. It was richer, not in wealth, but in the things that truly mattered. He had turned a quiet patch of land into a home for countless people and creatures, proving that even in the simplest of lives, greatness could be found.